Yeah. Chapter 1 will have 5 subparts. And our lesson today, we only focus on part 1.1 and 1.2. The structure of financial system and the financial intermediaries. So maybe you already know the circulation of the fund in the economy. And in the economy, there are always sorry. So in the economy, there are always 4 actors: the household, business firm, the government, and the foreigner. And all the units will have income. We have income, and they have expenditure. Yeah. And when the income they can generate is more than the expenditure, so they will have more money to save, and they will be the saver. Yeah. And otherwise, there are the units that their income is smaller than the expenditure. So they will be the borrower. They lack money and they will be the borrower. And the saver always wants to their money will bear more and more. So due to the demand of both parties, so the capital will be flow from the saver to the borrower, right? Yeah. And how the capital flow from the saver to the borrower? There are 2 ways. There are 2 ways for the capital can channel from the saver to the borrower. The first way is from direct finance, and the second from the indirect finance. So before that, we will take the business firm as an example. So student, can you tell that how the business firm raise fund in the economy? How a firm in the economy raise fund, raise capital? So Nguyễn Lan Phương, please.
I think they can issue the bonds or the stock in the market, the finance market, to raise fund.
Issuing, sorry. They can issuing bond or stock. Is any other ways? Only by issuing by bonds or stock. Is any other way? For the small company, they cannot issuing bond or stock. So how could they raise fund? Hoàng Thu Hiền, please.
I think they can lend from the bank.
Okay. they will go to the bank and borrow money.
Yes.
So they are the most popular way for the business firm can raise money. So we will talk about when they issuing bonds or stock. And the people who have money will buy the bond or bond and stocks. So where do they buy? They buy where do they buy the bonds or stock? On the stock market or bond market. So bonds and stock is called the financial product. It is the same when you want to buy a product, a normal product in your life. You want to go to the market, the supermarket, right? And when you want to buy some financial product, you can go to the financial market. So stock market or bond market is called financial market. Yeah, and in this market, the saver or the lender will connect to the borrower or the lender directly. Yeah, they are the buyer. And here they are the seller. And they connect directly on the financial market, and they trade bonds or stock are called financial product. So otherwise, in this way, the borrower and the saver did not know each other, and they only connect to the bank. So this way is called indirect finance, and this way is called direct finance. And with indirect finance channel, the saver, the bank is called financial intermediaries. And another difference, I suppose that the seller, the business firm here, will issue the bond with the volume of 5,000 million. And with the interest rate of the bond is 8%, right? And the buyer, when they buy the bonds from the firm, they will pay 5,000 million VND, and they will receive the interest rate 8%. Right. However, in this case, by the bank, the saver will deposit an amount of money, and I suppose that the interest rate is about 6%. However, when the borrower borrow money from the bank, the interest rate is certainly more than 6%. Right? Because the bank will have some income from when they provide this service to the depositor and the borrower. So there is some difference between the income and the cost that both parties have. So They are the ways the financial system work. And the direct finance is called a method of financing funds, financing for the corporates, for the units in the economy, and where the funds are transferred directly. Yeah, transferred directly from the saver to the borrower. And the bond or stock is called financial instrument or valuable paper. So there are some kind of financial market. Maybe you have already studied in previous subject. If you it's based on the security. So we have debt market or equity market. So who can tell me in the debt market, which financial instrument that people trade? Do you under debt market or equity market? Have you studied in previous subject? Who knows? What is debt market? Okay, in the debt market, the bond market is the debt market, and the stock market maybe the equity market. Okay, Phạm Khánh Vân, can you give your opinion about this?
Theo em hiểu thì cô nghe em nói không ạ?
Yes.
Theo em hiểu thì debt market nó là thị trường nợ, còn equity market thì nó là thị trường vốn ạ. Thì ở trên thị trường nợ sẽ phát hành trái phiếu, và trên thị trường vốn sẽ phát hành cổ phiếu ạ.
Yes, very good. Thanks so much. You're right. You're right. And next, we have another way, primary market and secondary market. Who knows? Who knows the difference between primary market and secondary market? Nguyễn Thị Thanh Thư, please.
Dạ em thưa cô, đó là primary market là thị trường sơ cấp, còn secondary market là thị trường sơ cấp. Ở thị trường sơ cấp thì các tổ chức sẽ phát hành các công cụ nợ, còn ở thị trường thứ cấp thì các tổ chức sẽ trao đổi cái công cụ nợ với nhau ạ. Thị trường sơ cấp là nơi đầu tiên phát hành ra công cụ nợ.
Oh, you are okay. Thank you. And I will give some more explanation about the primary market and secondary market. Your answer is both true and false. Some a little false and some little true. The primary market is the initial market when the company issue the paper, the valuable paper, initially. The first time they issue their valuable paper to the market. Yeah. And the secondary market is where the valuable paper are traded between the investor. So in primary market, the company can issue stocks or bonds, not only the debt papers. Yeah, now do you get it? For example, when the company issue the stocks to the public, as the first time they issue to the public. So they have issue in primary market, and after they are listed, and after the first time, the paper, the stock can be traded by many other investors. So they have traded it. They have traded the stocks in secondary market. Now, do you get it? Yeah, I want to hear some voice. Do you get it or not?
Yes,
Do you
I
understand?
get it.
If you say nothing, so I'm very worried. Okay, the last classification, they are capital market and money market. Who knows? Who knows? Dương Phương Linh, please.
Em thưa cô là cô nghe thì rõ em nói không ạ?
Yes, very clearly.
Cái capital market thì nó sẽ là thị trường vốn, còn money market thì sẽ là thị trường tiền tệ. Thì theo em nhớ là capital market thì nó sẽ là để trao đổi các công cụ tài chính mà có thời hạn là trung và dài hạn ấy ạ. Còn money market thì nó sẽ trao đổi những công cụ tài chính mà có thời gian ngắn hạn ạ.
Yes, thank you. Exactly, totally, exactly. Very good. Very good. So there are many ways to classify the kind of financial market, right? Yes, next to the indirect finance. In the indirect finance, where the depositor and the borrower will connect through financial intermediaries. And there are some ways, there are some kinds of financial intermediaries based on their feature. So we have three kind of financial intermediaries. They are depository institution, contractual saving institution, and investment intermediaries. Yeah. And I would like, so I have a question for you. Now, all of you here, you understand the direct finance and indirect finance, right? So can you tell me which genre of fund do you like more, direct or indirect finance, and why? Feel free to give your opinion. Yeah. The most important here, when you give your opinion, you can explain why. So who can? Oh, I already see some hands. Lê Vũ Hùng Anh, please.
In my point of view, I would prefer the indirect finance, because in indirect finance, I can get funding through the financial intermediate, so they can assure that there is there are less risk than the direct finance.
Oh, it is less risk when you are the borrower, or you are the saver, or you are both.
I think it's both, because I think it's as a borrower, I will prefer, as the lender, I prefer indirect finance, because it's less risk than risk than the direct finance.
Yes. Thank you. It's right. You are right. When you are the lender, you deposit your money to the bank, so it is less risky. So I want to hear some other ideas. Who want to ask? I see all of you. So do you have any other ideas? You can add some explanations. So if you don't have any idea, okay, Phạm Binh, please.
I want to direct channel because I want to high return and I don't want to pay any intermediary fee by some institution. So I chose the direct channel.
Yeah, thanks so much. You want the direct channel because your money will be make more benefit for you with higher return. And high return means high risk. Okay. So thank all of you. So today, next we will move to the roles of financial institution. How the financial institution, the financial intermediary, can reduce the risk to the parties. Yeah, the function of financial intermediaries. And after know the function of financial intermediary, we will get to know more about some types of financial intermediaries. Yeah, here are the function. So look at the function number 1. Financial intermediary can reduce the transaction cost. So think about which cost the transaction, the FI, the financial intermediary, can reduce. What kind of cost? The FI can reduce. And the second, how financial intermediary can reduce. How can they do that? The way they do, and what kind of cost they can reduce. Okay, Nguyễn Lan Phương again, please.
I think it can reduce the cost of the cost when you want to find the information about the lender, and also the cost of traveling. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, thank you. The cost of searching information and the cost of, okay, the cost of traveling. So who want to ask another cost? When you, for example, when you lend money to the neighbor, when you lend your money to the neighbor, it means not by a bank or a financial intermediary. So you have to monitor what he or she use the money to do. Okay. I can add some cost here. The cost of monitoring the loan. When you give your money to others, yeah, they use the money to do what they want. So to be safe, to make you have to monitor. You have to monitor them. Okay, so the second question, how the financial intermediary can reduce, how they can reduce the cost of searching information. Do the banks or financial intermediary have to search information about their customer? When they give a loan to the customer, they have to search information, but how they can reduce? Okay, I will give you an example. The bank, for example, the bank can, okay, we have, when the bank give a loan to a okay, when the bank we will make 3 loans, and we will compare in 2 cases. In the first case, 3 loans will be made by the bank. And in second way, 3 loans will be made by directly by the borrower, by the lender to the borrower. Yeah. So the lender, when they give money to the borrower, they have to search information. And the bank, when they give loan to the customer, they have to search information. But the bank has a very professional. Their employee are trained very professionally. So they have skill, they have knowledge to collect information about the customer. Otherwise, they have many ways. They have a large relationship. To many parties. So they can easily collect information about the customer. Yeah. They have a personnel very professional to do that. So they can save time, save money. However, for the unprofessional people, when they want to give a loan to another, so they may be pay more money or more time to collect enough information they want. Besides, the bank can reduce transaction costs because they can make use of the scale. And make use of the scope. The bank also can reduce transaction costs by economic of scale and the economic of scope. So the economic of scale means it means that when the volume of the loan is bigger, so the cost per unit is smaller. Yeah, it is called the economic of scales. For example, when the bank make a loan to a customer, an individual customer, and a loan to corporate customer, they have a cost, the same cost to establish the contract, the fixed cost to sign a contract. To an individual and to a corporate customer. However, the volume of individual customer is small, and the volume of the loan of corporate customer is much bigger. So the cost per unit, the cost per loan of individual customer is smaller, is bigger, and the cost per unit of corporate customer is bigger. So it means the economic of scale. And the second, the economics of scope. The economy of scope means, let me show you an example. I will show you an example. It's based on the diversity of product and service. Of the bank. For example, the bank can provide a loan and a life insurance. A life insurance to a customer. Yeah, so case one. A bank will provide a loan and a life insurance to the customer. And in case two, a bank only provide a loan, while the insurance company will provide a life insurance. Product. So, and in this case, in the first case, the bank can make use of the same building, the same employee when providing two services to customer. to service. But in this case, the bank have to have the cost of building and the cost of employee. And the insurance company, when they provide this kind of product to the customer, they have to the cost of building too, and the cost of employee too. So it means that in the second case, we have to pay more cost to provide two services to the customer. And in the first case, we can save more cost when provide two products, two service to the customer. So in the first case, we call the bank can make, in the first case, it is the economic of scope. So a company, a bank can use the economic of scopes because they have a diversity of products and services. And they can make use of the same buildings, the same employees, the same management to provide the cross-selling products to the customer. It means the economic of scope. Yeah. Do you get it? Do you get that point? And do you have any question about this part? Students, can you share some opinion if you if there is something that you are not clear? Okay, you can refer to the main textbook. If you is not very clear, you can read the main textbooks, and after this class, after reading the main textbook, you are not very clear. So I will answer the question in the next class if you have. Okay, do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, the second functions of financial intermediaries, it is asymmetric information. So have you ever have you ever heard about asymmetric information before?
Cân xứng thông tin.
Yes. So what do you think? What is asymmetric information? What is asymmetric information? Yeah. There are three cases. You can understand the asymmetric information in three ways. And I would like you to spend 2 minutes to read thoroughly 3 ideas of asymmetric information. And after that, one of you take an example and share the example with the class. Yeah, read it thoroughly and take an example. Yeah, okay. Now, who can give an example about this? Who can give an example about information asymmetry? Raise your hand, and you can have some plot point when you raise your hand in the class. Okay, Nguyễn Lan Phương again, please. Nguyễn Lan Phương.
If you are a lender and your borrower tell you that she need money to buy a car, but after that she used this money borrow from you to
Buy a house.
yes, to buy a house or to invest in some risky project. So this is can be an example of moral hazard.
Yes, good, very good. You're right, thanks. And moral hazard is an effect. It's an effect of information asymmetry. So information asymmetry is a situation in which we have both parties. We have two parties, and a kind of information is between them. We have party 1 and we have party 2, and between them have a transaction. Yeah, and to perform the transaction, both of the party they have to search the information about the transaction. So they have the information. Both of them have to search information so that they can perform or they can sign the contract in the transaction. Yeah, and you know, the perfect information is very hard. The perfect information, and all of them, the party or both party want to find out more and more information about the transaction, so that they can assure that their decision is right. Their decision is right. So however, in reality, the information that party 1 can get is always different from the information that party 2 can get. It is one type of information asymmetry. And the second case, maybe the information that party 1 can have is larger than the information that party 2 can have. So it's the second case. And the last case, the information about a transaction is always the perfect information. Perfect information means all the information about the transaction, and it is the perfect information. However, party 1 and party 2 nearly never have the perfect information about the transaction. Yes. And three case is called information asymmetry. And the information here is not information about party 1 or about party 2. And this is the information related to the transaction. related to the transaction. For example, when the party one is a lender, is a bank. Okay, a bank is a lender, and the party two is a borrower. So the information here, do you know what it is? The information here is information about financial capacity of party two, information about character of party two, information about collateral of party two, right? It is the information related to the transaction. And I don't want to know the information about the lover, how many lovers that party two have. I don't want to know that. I only want to know the information that related to the transaction. Yeah. So another example. Tell me, in the for example, I have life insurance company. Yeah, and there is a customer who want to buy an insurance product. So what do you think? What do you think? The information here, what is the information between two parties? When a customer wants to sign a life insurance contract with the insurance company, so in this transaction, what is the information that the insurance company want to know? The information want to know. What kind of information they want to know? Mai Phương Vũ, please.
I think the information the life insurance company want to know from the customer is that the health condition of the customer.
Yes, the health condition. Very good. Yeah, very good. Thank you. In this case, the insurance company only want to know the health condition information of the customer. Yeah. So I would like to emphasize that information asymmetry is a situation in which, yeah, we have three cases, and the information here, only the information related to the transaction, not all the information about one party. Yeah, and the effect of the problem caused by the information asymmetry are moral hazards and adverse selection. So moral hazards, maybe all of you here understand the moral hazard. So how about the adverse selection? Who can give me an example of adverse selection? Phạm Khánh Vân, please.
I think about the adverse selection is that something from the bank, they shouldn't choose the two people. It means that some customer have some risk but they don't know that, so they give them the money. But some customers, they are very good, but they think that they has many risks, so you don't give them the money. So this is the adverse selection from the choice of you.
Yes, yeah, thanks. You're right. The adverse selection here is the situation that the bank cannot choose the right customer, and they choose the wrong customer to give a loan. It is adverse selection. So, yeah. So, when the adverse selection happen and when the moral hazards happen, after or before they sign the loan contract. Okay. We have the time that the bank and the customer sign the loan contract. So the adverse selection, when does it happen? Before or after the loan contract?
Before.
Before, yes, very good. Before. And how about the moral hazards? After, good. After the loan contract. Only they can sign the contract with the bank and they receive money from the bank. They can use this money for another purpose that did not write in the contract. So they have moral hazard. Yeah. So they are the effect of asymmetry information, and the bank can reduce the asymmetry information by because the bank have professional employee. The employee when will have the skills, have enough knowledge, and they are trained to collect information to identify the right customer. Yeah, they are trained to do that. So the bank can easily reduce the asymmetry information. Yeah, I think we should have a break now, and 10 minutes. We will have a break about 10 minutes, and after that we will come back to our lesson. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.